The nurse who wasn't on the records began with a simple complaint from a patient who swore a night nurse had checked his pulse and whispered reassurance before dawn. The man described her calmly, with details too precise to ignore, yet when staff checked the duty log, no nurse matched that name or appearance. At first, supervisors blamed medication side effects or stress, assuming the patient had imagined the encounter in a vulnerable state. Then another patient, in a different wing, reported the same nurse, same uniform, same soft voice, same promise that everything would be fine. Both patients had never met, shared no doctors, and were admitted weeks apart, yet their descriptions were identical in every detail. Concern spread quietly among senior staff, who reviewed schedules, agency contracts, and temporary hires going back several months. No record existed, no badge logs, no payroll entry, no ID photo, nothing that explained who the nurse could be. Security was asked to check corridor cameras during the reported times, expecting at least a blurred figure or shadow. The footage showed empty halls, silent doors, and motionless nurse stations during every alleged visit. Still, patients insisted the nurse was real, describing her calm eyes and outdated uniform style with striking clarity. One elderly woman said the nurse sat beside her bed and held her hand during severe chest pain. Minutes later, doctors rushed in, shocked to find the woman stabilized despite earlier dangerous readings. Medical staff dismissed it as coincidence, but similar recoveries followed after reported visits from the same nurse. Rumors began circulating among night shift workers, who spoke quietly of an unseen presence during late hours. A junior nurse recalled feeling watched while charting, then finding a patient already soothed before she arrived. The hospital's archives were searched, uncovering an old photograph from a 1950s nursing staff. In the faded image stood a woman matching every description given by patients over the past months. Her name appeared once in the photo caption, but her employment file ended abruptly with no explanation. Records showed she died during a hospital fire decades earlier while helping patients evacuate a night ward. The investigation stalled, labeled folklore by administration, and staff were instructed not to alarm patients. Yet reports continued, always at night, always from critical patients close to sudden recovery or death. One terminal patient claimed the nurse told him his pain would end before sunrise. He passed peacefully hours later, his final vital signs strangely stable and calm. The hospital quietly removed the old photograph from public archives, calling it a coincidence. No official statement was ever released, and the case was closed without resolution. Still, some night nurses swear a familiar presence lingers during late shifts. They describe a soft scent of antiseptic and footsteps with no visible source. Patients no longer report the nurse as often, but the stories never fully stopped. To this day, no records explain how care was given without staff presence. This story remains unresolved, classified as patient delusion by policy. But among hospital night staff, the belief is simple and unsettling. Some nurses never really leave the ward.